forward loop, as you can tell in the slides. Maybe not every single time we approach something, but it does happen. This is where you learn what didn't work. Maybe a fantasy voice wasn't great for that creative essay about jazz, or maybe your fireballs were too slow. You reflect on why that fireball spell is so slow. And then finally, you adapt. You adjust your approach. Yes, that fireball spell is slow, but maybe a sorcery might be a better approach. Then you loop back to attempt, and the cycle starts over again. So in games, this looks like die, respawn, and try a new strategy. In education, it should look like submit, get feedback, and then revise the work. But here's the problem. In many classrooms, that loop is broken. You get a grade, and they move on. There's oftentimes no response. There's oftentimes no option to iterate, and failure is terminal. It's not very formative. It doesn't tell the learner anything about what didn't work. If a player fails, however, they're usually immediately thrown back into the action to try again. Hello, I am back. Hello, I am back. Can you all hear? Can you all hear? Okay, great. Apologies for that. It seems like my free premium trial went out. Yes, SL is excellent for teaching through failure. Okay, let me pull up my slides. Oh man, I'm gonna have to click through all these real quick. Thank you all. All right, I am on slide 4. I'm getting there. Thank God it was early on. Okay, so where was I now? Okay, so if players fail, they're usually immediately thrown back into the action to try again. Make this loop fast, or the games that do this well make the loop fast, they make it low stakes and continuous. And that's what we should aim for when teaching. Okay, so slide 5. And this is, before I go further, something that does need to be addressed. This is really important. Failure carries different weight for different learners. Who we talk to, or when we talk about failure forward, we have to ask who gets to fail safely. Not all students experience failure as psychologically safe. Not all learners do either. For some, first-generation students, those with imposter syndrome, students unsure about their abilities, failure feels existential. It's not just, I failed this assignment, it's maybe I don't belong here, or this isn't for me, or I can't do this. In games, players self-select into difficulty. Nobody is forced to play Dark Souls, and when you get frustrated with a game, you can turn it off at any point. In our classes, that motivated self-selection doesn't always exist. So how do I handle this in my own classes? First, I recognize that no teaching approach is one size fits all. Some students are visual learners, others are readers, some prefer to listen to information, and some can only understand with hands-on experience. I am one of those people. Not to include the impact of background, race, class, and access. And this is why one-on-one support is so essential. I build in individual check-ins in all of my courses. When a student struggles,